You have been taught to choose, to pick a side, to strive for light and avoid the dark, to define yourself by what you believe in, opposition to what you do not. The world you were born into praises extremes. It shouts for certainty, rewards polarity, and builds entire identities on the illusion of division. But the ancient ones knew something else. Thoth, the keeper of balance and recorder of all becoming, did not speak in absolutes. He watched. He measured. He understood that truth is not found in extremes, but revealed in the space between them. He taught not with judgment, but with harmony. And he showed the way, not as a line, but as a path, a middle path that we walk not once, but with every breath. This path is narrow, not because it is hidden, but because few choose to stay balanced upon it. It is the space where opposites dissolve, where you are no longer swinging between reaction and avoidance, but standing in quiet, lucid presence. We live in a time of great division. The mind is split. The heart is tugged. We are asked to take sides, to speak loud, to know constantly. And yet, within you, there is a whisper, older than all ideologies. A knowing that does not need to argue. A presence that does not require performance. That knowing is balance. That presence is the middle path. It begins not in theories, but in your own nervous system. In the way your breath shortens when challenged. In the tension behind your eyes when scrolling a world of opinions. In the ache in your chest after trying too hard to be light, to be good, to be enough. The Kybalion teaches everything is dual, everything has poles, everything has its pair of opposites. But it does not stop there. It also says opposites are identical in nature, but different in degree. Think on that. Hot and cold are not different energies. They are variations of the same essence. So are joy and grief, love and fear, confidence and doubt. You have not failed when you feel low. You have simply touched the other end of the same spectrum. And in recognizing this, you reclaim your power. You are not the pendulum. You are the point from which it swings. But the world won't tell you that. It will praise your highs and pathologize your lows. It will reward ambition and shame stillness. It will say, pick a lane, pick a label, pick a side. But Thoth whispers, walk the line between. Imagine a tightrope walker. Her focus is not on avoiding the fall, but on staying present. Step by step, breath by breath, she moves forward, not with rigidity, but with rhythm. She sways, she adjusts, but she does not collapse into either side. This is the way of the mystic in modern life. And you don't need to change your whole life to walk this way. Begin with your inner reactions. When anger rises, don't suppress it, don't feed it. Witness it. Let it burn without devouring. When joy visits, don't grasp it, don't perform it. Breathe it. Let it move through you like sunlight. When confusion clouds your mind, don't rush for answers. Sit in the fog. There is a kind of clarity that only fog can teach. Walking the middle path does not mean you become passive. It means you become powerful in a deeper way. Because now you are no longer controlled by polarity. You are guided by awareness. So ask yourself, where in your life are you swinging between extremes? What beliefs have you adopted just to feel safe in one camp or another? What would it feel like not to escape contrast, but to stand fully within it? There is no need to fight your shadow, no need to glorify your light. All you must do is return, again and again, to the stillness between, to the breath that knows both inhale and exhale, to the center that holds every story, yet needs none to be whole. You do not need to pick a side. You are the space where both sides meet. There is a rhythm to the cosmos, not a rigid order, but a dance ebb and flow. Inhale and exhale night into day and back again. We are not separate from this rhythm. We are it. We are its breath, its echo, its unfolding story in form. But somewhere along the line, we forgot this dance was sacred. We began to resist one half of it and chase the other. The Hermetic principle of polarity reminds us that all truths are half-truths, that everything exists on a continuum. Opposites are the same in nature, differing only in degree, the Kybalion says. But it also speaks of another law, rhythm. The law that governs the swing of the pendulum, the rise and fall of all energies. When you feel pulled by life, up, down, forward, back, it is not chaos. It is this rhythm. And walking the middle path means learning to feel the swing without being flung by it. Imagine standing at the ocean's edge. The waves come. You don't command them to rise, nor do you beg them to stop. You learn to move with them, to soften your stance, to become part of the rhythm rather than its casualty. This is what it means to dance with polarity. You were never meant to remain always in joy, nor forever in sadness. You were not built to be eternally high or permanently still. Life pulses, energy moves, and you alive, aware breathing, are meant to move with it. But how? First, by witnessing. Begin to notice the opposites in your daily life, when you feel expansive and when you contract, when you are generous and when you withhold, when you speak with love and when silence becomes your sword. Do not judge these shifts. Simply observe them. Name them with kindness. Then practice presence in the swing. Let's say you are angry. Most run from anger or let it possess them. But the middle path asks, can you sit with it? Not act it out, not suppress it. Just be with the burn. Name it. Feel where it lives in your body, what it wants you to protect, what boundary it's defending. In doing this, you become the alchemist. You take raw emotion and transmute it into wisdom. Or maybe you're in a moment of deep joy. The instinct is to hold it, to fear its passing. But what if you let it move through you free and full? What if you honored it, not by gripping, but by being completely in it while it's here? This is walking the middle path, not a place of numbness, but of full presence. Not rejecting the swing, but no longer identifying with its extremes. Thoth, the master of wisdom and equilibrium, was never at war with duality. He held it, measured it, balanced the scales not to eliminate weight, but to reveal truth. To follow his path is not to become one thing or the other. It is to become both and neither. It is to be the fulcrum, the sacred axis around which life rotates. Real life invites this every day. You receive criticism. Instead of defense or despair, can you meet it with inquiry? you feel attraction. Instead of lust or fear, can you breathe into it with clarity? You face conflict. Instead of attack or retreat, can you speak from center? These are not philosophical games. They are acts of power. Each time you choose presence over polarity, you reclaim energy once lost to reaction. So ask yourself, where are you being thrown by life's swing? What emotion or pattern have you labeled as bad forgetting? It's simply the other end of something sacred. Can you begin to soften not into surrender, but into rhythm? Stand in the center of your own being now. Feel the dance, not as something you control, but something you respect. The swing will continue. But now, you are not the one swinging. You are the one watching, feeling, integrating. The Hermetic dance of opposites will not stop. But you can become the still dancer at the center of the turning world. There is a room inside you where your shadow waits. Not as an enemy, not as a flaw, but as a forgotten child, tired from being pushed away. This shadow is not darkness in the way you've been taught to fear it. It is depth. It is contrast. It is the half of your soul that has only ever wanted to be seen, held, honored. Walking the middle path means turning toward this room, not to dwell in it, but to illuminate it. Not to fight the shadow, but to sit beside it until it begins to speak. Polarity is not just out there in the world. It lives within. You have light and dark, love and fear, courage and doubt. These are not contradictions. They are invitations. And in this sacred tension, the alchemist begins their real work not by becoming pure, but by becoming whole. The Kybalion teaches us to transmute one pole into another. The art consists in changing the vibrations of hate to the vibrations of love, of fear, to courage, of pain, to peace. But this transformation does not happen by denial. It happens through presence, through compassion, through deep witnessing. Imagine holding a stone in your hand. It's cold, dense, heavy. This is your shadow grief you haven't touched. Anger, you were taught to shame fears that hide beneath your habits. You could drop the stone. Pretend it isn't there. Or you could warm it with your hands. Sit with it. Let it become part of your offering, not your burden. A young man once came to stillness with a heart full of self-judgment. He had hurt others in the past, made choices from fear. Every time he tried to meditate, he was haunted by the memory. So he avoided silence, avoided himself. But one day, he sat through it. He let the shame rise. Let the heat flush his face. Let the ache pulse without pushing it away. And beneath the shame, he found sorrow. Beneath the sorrow, he found care. And beneath that, a willingness to begin again. The alchemy had begun. Not because he fixed anything, but because he felt everything, fully, lovingly, without collapse. That is the secret. You do not heal by running toward the light. You heal by standing in the dark with your heart open. When we embrace our shadow without merging into it, we become powerful. Not because we are perfect, but because we are real. rooted, integrated. We can stand in the world without needing to prove our goodness because we are no longer at war with our darkness. This is the inner alchemy, Thoth guarded, not locked in rituals or rare scrolls, but embedded in the way we meet ourselves in silence, in the mirror, in the moments no one sees. To walk the middle path means being able to hold your own contradictions without fracturing. It means saying, I can feel anger and still choose kindness. I can feel doubt and still move forward. I can hold my pain and still believe in beauty. So how do we practice this? Start by noticing what you avoid. Is it sadness? Let yourself cry, not as collapse, but as cleansing. Is it rage? Let yourself breathe into it, right through it, feel its raw truth. Is it shame? Sit gently with the voice that says you're not enough and ask where it began. This isn't indulgence, it's integration. The alchemist turns base matter into gold, not by throwing it away, but by applying heat, time, and love. You are the same. Your shadow is not your weight. It is your gold waiting for fire. So ask, what have I labeled too much in myself? Where have I split into roles just to stay acceptable? Am I willing now gently to bring those parts home? You don't have to fix them. You only have to sit beside them long enough for them to soften. And in that sitting, in that silence, the real alchemy begins. There is a space within you where all emotions are welcome. Not to rule you, not to overwhelm you, but to be seen, to be heard, to be known as sacred signals, not shameful intrusions. This space is not wide or loud. It is still clear and quietly powerful. It is the center of your being. To walk the middle path is not to walk without feeling. It is to feel everything without becoming the feeling. The Kybalion tells us to destroy an undesirable rate of mental vibration, put into operation the principle of polarity and concentrate upon the opposite pole to that which you desire to suppress. But this is not about suppression through force. It is about transmutation through awareness, through choice, through the quiet mastery of presence. Imagine a river. Sometimes it floods, sometimes it dries. But there is always the deep channel, the still current below the surface. That current is you, not your moods, not your reactions, not even your thoughts, but your capacity to feel, to hold, to observe without drowning. There was once a woman who spent her life trying to be happy. She read the books, did the work, visualized outcomes, and yet sadness still came. Fear still whispered. Shame still surfaced. She thought this meant she was failing. But then she learned to listen, to sit with these guests as teachers, not enemies. She stopped labeling emotions as positive or negative. Instead, she became curious. When anxiety rose, she asked, "What am I anticipating?" When grief stirred, she asked, "What love is this connected to?" And when joy came, she let it flood her fully without gripping. She learned to hold pain and peace in the same breath. This is emotional alchemy, not the absence of turmoil, but the presence of wisdom within it. Your emotions are messengers. Each one arrives to show you where your energy lives, where your beliefs hide, where your healing waits. Anger may protect a boundary you've abandoned. Sadness may signal a truth you haven't spoken. Even numbness has its story. It speaks of overwhelm, of needing stillness to reset. And so when you feel pulled by emotional waves, do not fight them. Do not fix them. Sit like a mountain in the storm. Breathe as the witness. Feel what arises, name it gently, and return to your center, not because the emotion is wrong, but because you are not it. This is your gold. When you learn to stand in your own heart without collapsing into reaction, you unlock a quiet sovereignty. You stop needing others to change for your peace. You stop fearing your own depths. You realize, I can hold this. I can feel this. And I can choose how I meet the world no matter what I feel. So, how do you cultivate this? Through practice, through presence, through small daily choices. When emotion rises, breathe before you respond. Place your hand on your chest and ask, what are you trying to tell me? Journal the feeling, not to analyze it, but to give it form. Speak to it like a friend, not a threat. The middle path is not a tightrope. It is a practice of gentle balance. You may sway, you may fall, but each time you come back to breath, back to center, back to the quiet inner knowing that says, I am whole, evener. And slowly you'll begin to notice peace no longer depends on perfection. Joy no longer requires ideal conditions. Love no longer demands certainty, because you have learned the alchemy of holding both light and shadow in the same embrace. So ask yourself now, can I meet my emotion with curiosity instead of judgment? Can I remain soft even while I feel deeply? Can I choose presence, not because I control my feelings, but because I honor them? The middle path is not sterile. It is not stoic. It is deeply alive. It is the place where all parts of you are welcome, but none are in charge. You are the flame, not the smoke. You are the sky, not the weather. You are the center, and the alchemist, and the gold. You are not here to escape the world. You are here to become its still point. In every storm, in every swing of joy or grief, in every surge of noise around you, there is one place that remains untouched, the middle path within. And when you live from that path, not just know of it, not just admire it, but embody it, you become more than a seeker. You become a mirror, a flame, a bridge. Thoth, the great alchemist and divine scribe, walked this path, not through avoidance of extremes, but through deep presence with both. His wisdom did not reject the laws of duality, it lived in harmony with them. He taught balance not as neutrality, but as clarity. Not as indifference, but as luminous presence. You are invited now to do the same, to live as the balance point between light and shadow, between fear and trust, between the part of you that still hurts and the part of you that already knows. This is not a theoretical balance. It is living, breathing, vibrating. It shows up in the way you speak when someone misjudges you. It lives in the pause before reaction. It glows in the quiet confidence that no longer needs to win because it already is whole. There was once a person who spent their life chasing wisdom, books' teachings, mentors' mantras. But one day, they sat by a fire and watched the flames. No thoughts, no seeking, just presence. And in that silence, it came not in words, but in a knowing. The real teacher is not outside you. It is the place within you that listens to everything without needing to fix anything. The place that can sit with pain and not flinch, hold joy and not grasp, witness change and not fear. That place is the middle path. To live from this space is not to detach from the world, it is to be fully in it, but not of it. You become the clear lake reflecting stars, the rooted tree that bends with the wind but does not break, the space in which all things arise and yet no thing defines you. This is the sacred paradox of polarity, that when you stop choosing sides, you become the whole. When you no longer reject the shadow, you radiate true light. When you stop running from emotion, you become peace. The Kybalion says mastery consists not in abnormal dreams, visions, and fantastic imaginings or living, but in using the higher forces against the lower, escaping the pains of the lower planes by vibrating on the higher. And the highest vibration, dear one, is balance. Balance is not stillness from lack of movement. It is stillness within movement. It is presence that sees the swing and chooses the center. So now, as this journey completes, you are not given a doctrine. You are given a mirror, one that reflects you not as the pendulum, but as the axis, not as the noise, but the silent space that holds it all. Let this become your way of living, not chasing the light, not fighting the dark, but breathing deeply in the space where both become one. You are not here to be perfect. You are here to be whole. So ask yourself, can I walk into the world today as the balance I seek? Can I hold space for opposites without losing myself to either? Can I remember that I am the alchemist, the axis, the sacred middle? Then begin again. One breath, one choice, one moment of presence at a time. You are the bridge now. You have walked through contrast, through rhythm, through shadow and light. And now you stand not in a place of resolution, but of remembrance. For the middle path is not a destination. It is a way of being, a living awareness, a soft, steady flame that never wavers, even as the winds of life swirl around it. This is the gift of polarity, not confusion, but clarity. Not conflict, but creation. You were never meant to escape the dualities of this world. You were meant to transcend them by standing in the still axis of your own soul. And now you know the truth. You can feel without falling. You can hold your joy without clutching. You can sit with your pain without drowning. You can live in a world of extremes and still walk in peace. Because you are the middle path. You are the alchemist. You are the one who remembers wholeness when the world forgets. If these words echoed something ancient in you, something steady and luminous, then stay close. Subscribe, share, or simply sit with it. Let the remembering ripple through your life like breath, like prayer, like gold, returning to its source. This isn't the end. It's the beginning of walking with your own center intact.